The cameras roll, and the studio lights shine down, hot and unforgiving. Everyone in the room senses it. The tension is electric, almost tangible. Sukanya leans forward, eyes fixed on Kody, and asks the question no one has dared to speak. Kody, why do you favor Robyn in family finances? A hush falls over the room. Kody's hand trembles slightly, the calm mask he wears cracking. Every eye is on him. Meri's face hardens. Christine's lips curve in a tight, knowing smirk, and Janelle shifts in her seat, uncertain if she can stay neutral any longer. Sukanya doesn't let him off the hook. She presses, citing financial moves that hint at favoritism, questioning his decisions in front of the entire family. Kody stammers, his usual confidence slipping with every word. He's used to controlling narratives, but today he is cornered. And the cameras capture every falter. The tension thickens. Suddenly, a producer steps forward with a small, unassuming device. "We need to play this," he whispers. Sukanya nods. The studio grows silent, anticipation hanging like a storm cloud. The recording begins to play. A private conversation of Kody's never meant for anyone else to hear. His voice fills the room, talking about moving money and making secret arrangements with Robyn, dismissing the concerns of the other wives. The room reacts instantly. Meri's eyes blaze with fury, Christine's smirk tightens, and Janelle bites her lip, trying to hold back emotion. Even Sukanya seems caught off guard by how blatant it is. The camera pans to Kody. Sweat beads on his forehead, his hands shake. He opens his mouth to speak, but nothing comes out. The silence stretches painfully. Then, in a burst of anger and humiliation, he storms off the set, slamming the door behind him. The audience gasps. The wives sit frozen, stunned by what just unfolded. The room feels heavier, charged with the weight of secrets now exposed. The question lingers. How will the family confront the truth? And can anything survive the fallout of Kody's choices? Comment below. Who do you think is really behind Kody's secret moves? And what do you think he'll do next? The studio is quiet now, but the tension doesn't fade. Kody storming off leaves more than slammed doors behind. It leaves a vacuum of unease, and everyone feels it. Meri leans back, jaw tight, her mind racing with everything she's just witnessed. For years she's held back, biting her tongue in front of cameras, trying to keep the peace. But today feels different. Today, Kody's mask cracked, and the truth is finally spilling over. Christine, sitting across from her, adjusts her posture. There's that same calculating glint in her eyes, the one Meri has learned to recognize. She's already thinking several steps ahead, mentally filing away every word from the recording. She's quick, precise, and there's no doubt she will use this to her advantage if the chance arises. Janelle shifts in her seat, a mixture of discomfort and indecision clouding her features. Neutrality was her refuge, but neutrality won't protect anyone now. Sukanya remains steady, her pen poised over a notebook, but even she feels the weight of the moment. She expected a reaction, sure, but the depth of Kody's hidden frustration and the overt favoritism toward Robyn cuts sharper than she anticipated. There's something dangerous in exposing someone's private manipulations, and she can feel it vibrating through the room. Outside the camera lenses, the crew murmurs in low tones, unsure whether to intervene or let the unfolding storm run its course. The audience's reactions are another layer of pressure. Live reactions projected across multiple screens. Kody's reputation is unraveling before thousands, and no one can stop it. A door opens, and Robyn steps cautiously into the studio. Her expression is unreadable, a mixture of concern and guarded pride. She's aware of the recording, aware of the questions, and she knows this is her moment as much as it is Kody's crisis. Yet even she hesitates, sensing the emotional maelstrom around her. Meri finally speaks, her voice low but sharp, cutting through the thick silence. "How long were we all supposed to be kept in the dark, Kody?" The words echo in the studio, reverberating against the walls. Christine leans forward slightly, eyes never leaving Kody, almost challenging him to answer. Janelle swallows hard, unsure whether to join in or remain a spectator. Kody's absence looms. Every camera angle seems to ask the same question. Will he come back, or has he decided this confrontation is beyond control? The tension mounts as producers exchange nervous glances. Sukanya seizes the moment, her voice calm but insistent. The family deserves answers, not just excuses. Meri's hands clench, and she continues, voice rising, not in anger, but in resolve. We've lived in your shadow, Kody, believing in your judgment, trusting that the decisions you made were fair. But today, that trust is shattered. Christine shifts slightly, smirk fading as the weight of the moment sinks in. Even Robyn's cool exterior shows cracks, subtle, almost imperceptible. A long pause follows. The studio feels frozen, every eye fixed on the empty space where Kody disappeared. It's a vacuum, a silent challenge. Then, from the corner, a producer speaks, voice low, almost hesitant. Should we continue? Sukanya doesn't flinch. She knows the story isn't over. The confrontation has only begun. Minutes stretch into what feels like hours. The wives exchange glances, unspoken words hanging between them. Every memory of past grievances, secret favors, and hidden manipulations plays through their minds. There's a collective realization. This moment is bigger than the cameras, bigger than the show. It's about the foundation of the family itself. Finally, the door clicks. Kody reappears, composed but visibly restrained like a storm held at bay. His eyes sweep across the room, taking in the wives, the crew, and Sukanya. There's a moment of silence, heavy and deliberate, as if the air itself is waiting for him to speak. And then he begins, voice measured but tense, choosing his words with care. I didn't expect this to go public like this, he says. But there's a tremor beneath the surface. Some things, some decisions, were private for a reason. Meri interrupts, sharper this time. Private? You call dismissing all of us private? What about transparency? What about fairness? The words land like stones thrown into still water. Kody hesitates, swallows, trying to reclaim control, but the weight of evidence, the recording, the pointed questions, the wives' expressions, presses down on him. Even Robyn steps forward, cautiously supportive, but the dynamic has shifted. No alliance can hold in the spotlight this bright. Sukanya leans in, her tone incisive, almost surgical. People watching need to understand the full story. Every choice matters, Kody, not just for you, but for them. The room is tense, ready to snap, ready to erupt at the slightest spark. And then, just as Kody opens his mouth to defend himself, a new revelation drops. A text, an email, a hint at yet another secret buried deeper than anyone imagined. The studio holds its collective breath, all eyes widening, hearts racing. The story is far from over, and the fallout is only beginning. The camera lingers on Kody's face. He's visibly shaken, caught between pride and fear, the storm inside him raging. Outside, viewers at home are left wondering, what is he hiding next? And how far will this unravel the family? The studio feels smaller now, suffocating almost, as Kody takes a hesitant step back into the spotlight. The tension has not eased. It has thickened, wrapping around everyone like a heavy curtain. Meri's eyes lock on him, burning with a mixture of hurt and fury. She's not just confronting him for the cameras. She's confronting years of silence, compromises, and hidden manipulations. Christine leans back, arms crossed, watching Kody with a calculated patience. There's a predator's gleam in her eyes, the kind that waits silently while chaos unfolds, knowing exactly when to strike. Janelle's unease grows, a storm of emotions she refuses to voice aloud. Robyn, as poised as ever, gives nothing away. Yet even her controlled composure hints at the subtle tremor of fear that no one outside the family could ever notice. Sukanya breaks the silence, her voice sharp but controlled. Kody, the recording we just played, that wasn't just words. It was decisions, hidden choices that affect every single person here. Can you explain why these decisions were made in secrecy? Kody swallows, the weight of the room pressing down on him. I thought I was protecting the family, he says, but his tone is brittle, uncertain. Some things aren't meant for public discussion. Some things are personal. Meri steps forward, her voice rising but steady. Personal? We are your family. How can you call favoritism and secrecy personal? We trusted you, and you chose to manipulate us instead. Her words cut through the air like knives, and the room seems to contract around them. Christine tilts her head slightly, a subtle smirk playing on her lips. Manipulate is one word, she says softly, but there's evidence of clear bias. And that, Kody, is something we can't ignore. Robyn shifts, breaking the tension momentarily with a quiet, controlled voice. This isn't the time to play blame games, she says. We need to focus on the facts and not let emotion cloud judgment. But even she can't hide the way her fingers tighten around the edge of the table. The cameras pan across the wives, capturing every subtle reaction. The studio is alive with unspoken energy. Anger, disbelief, fear, and anticipation. Every glance, every twitch of a lip, every tense breath communicates volumes. The recording plays again, this time selectively, highlighting more of Kody's secret arrangements, his plans that show clear favoritism toward Robyn, and the dismissal of Meri, Christine, and Janelle's concerns. Meri's hands tremble, not with fear, but with fury. She's been patient for too long. Do you even realize what this does to us? To the kids? To the trust we had in you? Her voice cracks slightly, the emotion raw and impossible to ignore. The room grows heavier with every word. Kody tries to speak, his mouth opening and closing like he's searching for words that won't come. The pressure mounts. Every camera lens seems to pierce him. Every face in the room, a mirror of judgment. He shifts uncomfortably, sweat forming at his temples. Suddenly, the tension spikes. A producer hands Sukanya another envelope, sealed, marked as confidential. She opens it, revealing more damning evidence, a text chain, a financial document, something previously unseen that directly contradicts Kody's public statements. The revelation is swift and brutal, a shockwave hitting everyone at once. Kody's composure shatters. He grips the edge of the table, knuckles white, trying to anchor himself. The wives lean in, anticipation and accusation mixed into their stares. So this was all a lie? Meri asks, voice trembling but fierce. All the things you told us, all the promises. Robyn tries to intervene, her tone soft but insistent. Let's not turn this into a personal attack. No, Meri snaps, cutting her off. This is personal. It's always been personal. Christine leans back, arms crossed again, her voice calm but cutting. It's not just personal. It's betrayal. And we've been patient for too long. Janelle finally speaks, her voice quiet but carrying weight. I've tried to stay neutral. I've tried to stay out of the drama. But this crosses a line that we can't ignore anymore. The cameras capture every second. The rise and fall of tension, the unspoken history between the wives and Kody, the raw emotion, the silent accusations. And then, just as Kody attempts to justify himself, the recording plays a third time, this time revealing a snippet that shocks even the most prepared. It's a moment of revelation so powerful that the studio collectively inhales in disbelief. Kody freezes. His eyes dart around the room. His mask, once his armor, has crumbled completely. For the first time, the weight of his decisions, his secrecy, and his favoritism is reflected back at him in full, unflinching clarity. Meri steps closer, her voice cutting through the tension like a blade. You can't hide behind excuses anymore. You've shown us exactly who you are, and it's not the man we trusted. Robyn's hand reaches toward Kody, a gesture of support, but even she falters under the weight of the accusations and the evidence now laid bare. Christine leans in, a cold intensity in her gaze. And now, we all have to decide. What do we do with the truth? The studio falls silent, every person holding their breath. The cameras capture every twitch, every tremor, every flicker of fear and realization. Kody's hands shake, his jaw tightens. He's caught in the eye of the storm, and there is no easy escape. And then, in a final, shocking move, he slams the table, rising abruptly, his face red with frustration and shame. The room gasps again, the air crackling with the unspoken question. What will he do next? The studio feels like it's about to implode. Kody stands frozen for a moment, chest heaving, trying to find words that might undo the storm that has overtaken him. The evidence, the recordings, the documents, all laid bare, leave no room for excuses. Meri's eyes are blazing, the kind of fire that doesn't just demand answers, it demands justice. Christine leans forward slightly, her voice calm but lethal in its precision. We've seen patterns before, Kody. Patterns of favoritism, secrecy, and manipulation. But hearing it now, in your own words, changes everything. Her tone is almost surgical, dissecting his facade for all to see. Janelle sits, hands clasped tightly, a storm of conflict waging inside her. She's tried for years to be the peacemaker, the neutral party, but the weight of betrayal presses down. She swallows hard, her mind spinning through memories of conversations and subtle slights she had chosen to ignore. Robyn's posture is impeccable, yet her hands twitch slightly at the table. She's aware of the tension, aware of what the recording reveals, and though she wants to step in and soothe the chaos, she knows this is Kody's reckoning. And her silence is part of the strategy, at least for now. Sukanya leans forward, voice steady but sharp. Kody, the recordings and documents showed decisions that weren't just hidden. They were deliberate. Why did you dismiss the others? Why did you favor Robyn? Kody exhales slowly, trying to anchor himself, but the weight of every camera, every wife, every word presses down. I thought I was protecting the family, he says, voice shaky. Some choices, some plans, were necessary. Meri rises abruptly, voice cracking with emotion. Necessary? Necessary for whom, Kody? For Robyn? Or for your ego? Her words hang in the air, unflinching and raw. She steps closer, every step a challenge, a confrontation that the cameras capture in haunting clarity. The room shifts. Christine tilts her head slightly, eyes narrowing. You thought you were protecting us? Or you thought we wouldn't notice the patterns you've been creating all these years? Her tone is cold, incisive. Robyn interjects softly. This isn't about blaming. Let's stay focused on... No, Meri interrupts sharply, voice echoing across the studio. It's always been about blame. It's about honesty. It's about accountability. And today, you're forced to face it. Kody's hands tremble, gripping the edge of the table as if it's the only thing keeping him upright. His jaw tightens, and for a moment, he looks like a man cornered, trapped in the spotlight with no escape. Then, Sukanya holds up another piece of evidence. A text conversation between Kody and Robyn, previously unseen, detailing financial decisions and plans that completely exclude the other wives. The room goes still. It's more than just favoritism. It's a calculated strategy, a deliberate exclusion that cannot be ignored. Meri's eyes widen. So, this is it? All along, it's been a secret strategy? She asks, disbelief and fury mingling in her voice. Christine leans back, expression unreadable but deadly focused. And now we all see it. Now we all know exactly who's been controlling the narrative and who's been left in the dark. Janelle swallows hard, finally breaking her silence. I don't even know how to respond to this. I tried to stay out of it, but this goes too far. Robyn's eyes flick to Kody, a silent question passing between them. He looks back, guilt and frustration clouding his features. There's a fleeting moment of vulnerability, but it's quickly replaced by defensiveness. Suddenly, the studio lights flicker slightly, a subtle reminder of the audience watching. The cameras rolling, capturing every heartbeat, every hesitation. The tension is almost unbearable. Kody takes a shaky step forward, trying to regain control. I didn't mean for it to get this far, he murmurs, but the words barely carry over the weight of the evidence now stacked against him. Meri steps closer, voice cutting like a knife. You didn't just hurt us, Kody. You've jeopardized trust, respect, and the foundation of this family. And today, everyone is seeing exactly who you are. The camera pans across the room, catching every subtle reaction. Christine's smirk has vanished, replaced by a calculating intensity. Janelle's discomfort is palpable. Robyn's composure is strained. Even Sukanya's usually measured face shows a hint of shock at the sheer magnitude of the revelation. And then, a silence, heavy and oppressive, fills the studio. Kody's face is pale, sweat beading on his forehead as he struggles to speak. The air seems to vibrate with the unspoken question, what happens next? How far will this fallout reach? Before he can respond, Meri's voice cuts through, rising with authority and pain. We deserve the truth, all of it. No more hiding, no more secrecy. Robyn reaches for him, a gesture of support, but even she hesitates, sensing the storm about to break. The camera lingers on Kody's expression, defensive, panicked, and cornered all at once. And just as the tension peaks, a producer whispers to Sukanya, handing her yet another piece of evidence. This one even more explosive, suggesting that Kody may have manipulated more than just finances. And the revelation promises to rock the family even further, leaving the audience breathless and desperate to see what unfolds next. Kody freezes, realization dawning on him that nothing in the studio is under his control anymore. The wives' eyes pierce him. The evidence piles up, and the cameras capture every second of his unraveling. The storm has fully arrived. The studio is suffused with tension. The air heavy and almost impossible to breathe. Kody stands in the center, shoulders rigid, jaw tight, as if bracing for impact. Every eye in the room is on him, but none more piercing than Meri's. Her fury is quiet, but all-encompassing. A storm barely contained beneath the surface. Christine leans forward, calm but precise, letting the silence stretch just long enough to make Kody squirm. Her mind is running a careful tally of every misstep, every secret, every half-truth she's noticed over the years. She knows how to make this unraveling sting, and she's ready to strike. Janelle shifts nervously in her seat, wrestling with her own conflicting emotions. Neutrality has never felt more impossible. She glances at Robyn, whose expression is carefully composed, yet her eyes betray tension and apprehension. Robyn knows she is implicated, even if indirectly, and she can't control the narrative any longer. Sukanya's voice cuts through the silence, calm but unrelenting. Kody, the recordings and documents we've revealed so far don't tell the whole story. There are more decisions, more hidden choices, and more secrets that need to be addressed. Are you ready to face all of it? Kody swallows hard, attempting to ground himself. I don't know if I can answer everything. Some things were private for the family's protection. His words falter, the weight of exposure pressing down harder with each second. Meri steps closer, voice rising but steady, deliberate. Protection? You call hiding critical decisions, manipulating finances, and silencing the rest of us protection? We are your family, Kody. We trusted you. And you chose to betray that trust. Christine interjects, sharper this time. This isn't just about trust. This is about control, favoritism, and deliberate exclusion. And now, it's public. The truth is out, and there's no turning back. The room seems to shrink around Kody. Sweat glistens at his temples, his hands gripping the edge of the table as though it's the only thing keeping him upright. Every past action, every hidden plan, every whispered conversation comes crashing down in this moment, amplified by the cameras, the wives' expressions, and Sukanya's piercing questions. Then, without warning, Sukanya plays yet another piece of evidence. A private conversation, previously undisclosed, where Kody discusses plans that go even deeper than favoritism, hinting at long-term manipulations that could affect inheritance, custody, and financial control. The room goes utterly silent, the shock visible on every face. Meri's breath catches in her throat, but her voice rises, stronger and sharper. So this is it. Years of manipulation, years of secrets. And all of us left in the dark while you made these decisions? Robyn reaches for Kody, trying to soothe, but even she falters, caught between loyalty and the undeniable truth. Janelle's discomfort is palpable. Christine's eyes narrow, and Meri's glare is relentless. The cameras capture every heartbeat, every subtle flicker of guilt, every shiver of fear. Kody takes a shaky step back. I did what I thought was best. I never meant to hurt anyone, he murmurs, voice cracking under the weight of exposure. Meri's response is fierce, almost shaking with emotion. Best for whom? Robyn? Yourself? Because it sure wasn't best for the rest of us. Christine leans in, her tone calm but cutting. And now, everyone can see the truth. Your control, your favoritism, your secrecy, it's all out in the open. How do you plan to face the consequences of this? The silence that follows is deafening. Kody looks around, trying to anchor himself. But the room is a cage, and every witness, wives, producer, crew, and cameras is holding him accountable in real time. Suddenly, a text notification appears on Sukanya's tablet, handed discreetly by a crew member. She opens it, and her eyes widen. It's yet another revelation, an email from Kody discussing plans that nobody had seen, detailing moves that could completely shift family control and power dynamics. The weight of it is almost unbearable, and the tension spikes again. Meri's voice drops, cutting through the charged air. Everything you've hidden, everything you've decided without us, it's all here. And we all have to face the truth now, whether you like it or not. Kody's hands tremble. He swallows, jaw tightening, eyes darting from wife to wife. He's cornered in a way he's never been before. Every attempt to justify himself crumbles under the weight of evidence, and the emotional storm in the room is reaching its peak. Robyn finally speaks, softly, almost pleading. This doesn't have to destroy everything. We can still fix this. Meri's glare sharpens. Fix it? How do you fix years of lies? Years of secrecy? How do you fix betrayal? Christine leans back, expression unreadable but dangerous. And what about the rest of us? The ones who've been silenced, ignored, and dismissed? Will fixing it even include us? The room holds its breath. Kody's composure is gone. His voice shakes as he mutters, I didn't know it would come out like this. The studio lights flicker slightly, almost as if the room itself is holding its breath. The wives exchange glances. There is no undoing this moment, no hiding from what has been revealed. And then, in a sudden, shocking move, Kody turns sharply and storms out of the studio again, slamming the door with a force that rattles the cameras. The room falls into stunned silence. Every wife is frozen, every crew member uncertain, every viewer at home left reeling. The storm is far from over. Secrets have been exposed, relationships shattered, and the question now hangs heavy. How will this family survive the fallout? And what explosive truths are still waiting to come out? The studio is quiet, the echo of the slammed door lingering like a warning. Everyone sits frozen for a moment, unsure whether to speak first. The air is thick with unspoken accusations, hurt, and disbelief. Meri's chest heaves. She's angry, but beneath the fury, there's an ache. Years of secrets and favoritism coming to light all at once. Christine sits perfectly still, her gaze sharp and calculating. She's already analyzing the fallout, weighing what this means for alliances, for control, for the future. Even in the chaos, her mind works like a predator, methodically plotting the next move. Janelle shifts in her seat, her discomfort evident. Neutrality has evaporated. She can no longer stay in the background. She glances at Robyn, who remains composed on the surface, but her eyes betray tension. Robyn knows Kody's storming off isn't the end. It's just the beginning of a reckoning she can't fully control. Sukanya takes a deep breath, leaning forward. We need to understand everything, she says, voice steady but urgent. What led to these choices, and why have so many decisions been hidden from the rest of the family? Meri's voice is low but sharp, cutting through the thick tension. We've lived under the shadow of secrecy for too long. Every choice, every plan, every move has been made without us. We trusted him, and he's broken that trust in ways we are only now starting to see. The camera pans slowly across the wives' faces, capturing every flicker of emotion. Hurt, anger, disbelief, calculation. The studio feels smaller, tighter, as if the walls themselves are pressing in. Every word now carries weight, every glance threatens confrontation. Suddenly, a crew member whispers something to Sukanya. She nods, pulling out a new document. The room grows tense again. It's another piece of evidence. More financial arrangements, emails, and text messages that expose further manipulation. The wives exchange glances, the weight of the revelations settling in like a storm cloud. Christine leans forward, voice calm but sharp. This goes beyond favoritism. There's strategy here, deliberate exclusion, and planning. We've been treated as if our opinions didn't matter, as if we were just shadows in the decisions being made. Meri's anger rises, trembling in her voice. And now, it's all out. We see the truth, Kody's plans, the manipulation, and yet, he's still trying to justify it. Robyn finally speaks, trying to maintain control. Let's not lose sight of the family. This is about communication, about understanding. Meri interrupts, voice loud and trembling. Communication? Understanding? That's what we were denied for years? Janelle swallows hard, finally breaking her silence. I don't even recognize what I thought our family was. Everything feels like it's crumbling. The tension is nearly unbearable. The camera captures every subtle reaction, the trembling hands, the tightened jaws, the flashing eyes. Even the crew is tense, sensing that something monumental is unfolding. Sukanya holds up the latest document, her voice cutting through the thick silence. These messages weren't meant to be seen. They showed decisions, plans, and actions that were hidden for a reason. Now everyone here knows the truth. Meri leans in, eyes blazing. And what now? Do we let this slide? Do we forgive years of deception? Or do we confront the reality of what's been done? Christine tilts her head slightly, expression unreadable but deadly precise. The reality is this: nothing can go back. The decisions, the manipulation, the favoritism, it's all out. And now, the family has to decide what comes next. Robyn takes a shaky breath. We can still fix this, she says softly. We just need a plan. Communication, patience. No. Meri cuts her off, voice cracking but firm. Fix it? After all this? There's no easy fix. This isn't a mistake we can overlook. This is betrayal, pure and simple. The room goes silent. The weight of years of hidden choices, favoritism, and manipulation presses down on every person present. Kody's absence is deafening, but his presence is felt in every document, every recording, every word now exposed. Suddenly, the studio door creaks open. Kody steps back in, his face pale, eyes darting nervously from wife to wife. He's no longer the composed man who stormed out moments ago. His armor is gone. His voice shakes as he speaks. I didn't mean for it to get this far. I thought I was protecting the family. Meri leans forward, her glare unflinching. Protecting the family? By hiding everything and favoring Robyn? By making choices that affect all of us without consulting us? Christine's voice cuts through, sharp as a knife. The truth is out, Kody, and no excuses will undo what's been revealed today. Janelle finally speaks, quiet but resolute. We've tried to stay neutral, we've tried to be patient, but this goes too far. We can't ignore it. The tension reaches its peak. Kody swallows, jaw tight, realizing the storm he faces isn't just from the cameras. It's from his family. His decisions, once hidden, are now exposed, and the wives are no longer willing to stay silent. And then, without warning, a producer hands Sukanya another envelope. Her eyes widen slightly as she opens it. It's an even more explosive revelation. A financial plan that could alter the entire family dynamic. The room gasps, and the wives' eyes widen in shock. Kody freezes. The full weight of exposure is upon him, and he realizes that nothing will ever be the same. The storm he tried to control is now fully unleashed.